Hey, Pretty Girl Club. So I wanted to make another video like this. I just have to get this out of my system. Every once in a while, I just feel like getting out a good rant. So I did a stream kind of like this where I was talking about all of the signs. So I want to do another analysis, kind of like a psychoanalysis of all of the signs. By the way, I am not an astrologer. I did not look up anything about the signs. I'm literally just going to be going based off of anecdotal evidence and what I have experienced. So let's start off with okay, so I have a list in front of me here. Okay, so I'll start off with Aries. Oh my God, I stan Aries. You are like, if you're an Aries, you're one of my favorite signs. All of my close friends are Aries. So I love Aries because you guys are so good at leveling up. I feel like Aries, they're really good at being held accountable. They are good at growth. I always see some sort of growth with an Aries person. So if you're an Aries woman, I've noticed a lot of my Aries friends, they're not haters. So that's one of my favorite things about Aries. That's why I have a lot of friends who are Aries. There's always an Aries in my inner circle. I feel like you guys are very trustworthy. So Aries signs are very trustworthy. In terms of Aries men, I feel like Aries have good leadership qualities. So sometimes one flaw though, so I'm psychoanalyzing. So I'm going to be telling you the perceived pros and cons of all the signs. So one flaw that I have seen with Aries though is if they receive too much pushback or too much like trolling and stuff, they do sometimes kind of like recoil and kind of cower back a little bit, especially if they struggle with depression or anxiety. I've noticed that the Aries, your anxiety, it seems like it goes up if you've got too many people giving you smoke. So that is something I've noticed with all the Aries men and women that I know. So I guess as long as you can work on your emotional regulation as an Aries, you should be fine because Aries, I just feel like Aries people are very powerful. Like you guys know how to dominate, you guys know how to level up. You guys are very inquisitive, very good at learning, very good at taking accountability. I see Aries always reading something, whether it's an article, whether it's like a book or something. So that is kind of my psychoanalysis on Aries. And in terms of dating, I think, I am a decentering men channel, but I would date an Aries man just because I like all of the leadership and level up qualities that I see in Aries people. Every time I come across an Aries, they're always doing something to level up. Whether it's they're going to school or they're like reading some books, they're reading articles. Aries are constantly learning new skills. So I love the multifaceted personality of the Aries. And by the way, I have no idea if anything that I'm saying is accurate because, like I said, I'm not an actual astrologer or anything, and I didn't look up any articles. I'm just going based on my psychoanalysis of the people that I've met. So yeah, all of my best friends from childhood all the way up until now are Aries. Aries are gonna be down for you. Aries are loyal as fuck. So if you have an Aries friend or family member, treat them right because Aries are going to be down for you. Aries have a lot of longevity. I love that about Aries. They're not flip-flops. They're not flippity floppity. Aries know how to stick to what they believe in, and then like if something they do is wrong, they will come back around. So I have had a couple of arguments and like a couple of headbutts with Aries occasionally, but Aries tend to be good communicators from my experience. And so, because I'm also a good communicator, I've always been able to work it out with Aries. And that's why a lot of my closest friends from childhood all the way until now are Aries. The majority of them are Aries women. And then in terms of guys, yes, I would talk to an Aries guy. Okay, so the next one on the list is Taurus. So Taurus men are toxic. I'm just being honest. A lot of Taurus men that I've been around are cheaters or they're like you know those guys that will come and like shoot up a school. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just what I've seen just in terms of Taurus men. I've seen them be like predators and stuff and be like really creepy. In terms of their positive traits though, Taurus men and women. Okay, so in terms of Taurus women, I have met a lot of Taurus women who are very bubbly, very like open, very transparent, so very real. I love that about Taurus. I will say that Taurus people are very real. They're very honest and raw. But sometimes I feel like with the men in particular, they share too much. Like, so stop sharing every little detail. You don't have to say everything you're thinking. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. But overall, I do like the realness of Taurus. I feel like the Taurus people, they will tell the truth. One thing about Taurus, though, is that they can be kind of conspiratorial. Like everything's a conspiracy, I've noticed with a lot of the Taurus women and men that I've been around. Like everything's a conspiracy theory. Everybody's a plant. Everybody is an op. And it's like, okay, everybody's not your enemy. Everybody is not out to get you. So sometimes I feel like Taurus, they kind of make assumptions and then they just jump to conclusions from their assumptions. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why can't you just ask the person or just like, I don't know, get a little bit more information before you just jump to your conclusion? Because Taurus people, you don't like when people judge you, but then sometimes you guys judge others. But in terms of my psychoanalysis of a Taurus, though, I will say that overall, I do love your realness. I love your rawness. I really admire that. I like how Taurus people, you guys, you seem to stand up for what you believe in. You seem to be very passionate and kind of fun loving. You seem to have a desire to be carefree, and I like that Taurus. They try to see through the facade. I feel like that's what the Taurus is trying to do. They're trying to see through the BS. They understand that like we kind of live in a matrix, but at the same time, a lot of the Tauruses I've been around, they're very much into like conspiracies and shit, and think that everything is a conspiracy or like people could be conspiring against them to the point where they have anxiety. Almost every Taurus that I have been around has anxiety. So that's a random side effect. That's kind of my psychoanalysis. So I guess I feel like if you're a Taurus, maybe just staying around people who are not toxic or not allowing your traumas to define you, maybe not being defined by your past as well. Sometimes I've been around some Tauruses that are kind of codependent. So whether they're codependent in relationships, well, actually that's pretty much what I've seen. I have seen a lot of Taurus men and women be codependent in their relationships. So like I said, I'm not an actual astrologer. I don't even know if what I'm saying is accurate, but that's just my psychoanalysis. So I don't know where that codependency comes from. It could have just been something that didn't have to do with their sign, but that is a pattern that I've noticed. I can't think of not one Taurus who does not have toxic relationships. But at the same time, though, I can see why people are attracted to Taurus because there are people are attracted to your realness, your like your honesty and your openness and your transparency and your ability to like wear your flaws on your sleeve. Tauruses have no shame from what I've seen. A lot of Tauruses are very shameless and very fearless, so that's a very attractive quality. So I can see why people would want to date a Taurus. But at the same time, it's like it seems like every Taurus I know is always getting into or coming out of some sort of toxic codependent relationship. And a lot of the Taurus men that I've been around are definitely serial cheaters. I've been around a lot of Tauruses that are just very sexual. So like the female Tauruses that I have that are my friends, a lot of them like will sleep with a lot of guys or they will do casual sex with guys. And then a lot of the Taurus men I've been around have tried to be very sexual with me. So I don't know if that's a part of that sign. I have no idea, but there's almost like this sexual aggression that I've seen in some people with that sign to where it's making me like, okay, is this a pattern here? I don't know, but that's my psychoanalysis. But I guess that's a good quality to have, though. I mean, they're very sexually confident. That's a good quality to have. But at the same time, it's like if you think everything's a conspiracy or if you think everybody's your op, that could also cause a lot of anxiety. So that's my psychoanalysis on Taurus. I do have some close Taurus friends, but sometimes with Taurus, I have a hard time trusting you guys sometimes because I'm like, okay, if they think everybody is an op and if they think I'm a potential op, then why should I trust them? If you think I am potentially being fake with you, then like, why should I trust you with my personal info? Okay, so the next one on my list is Gemini. So I love the effortless femininity that I see with Gemini women. So I do have a couple of friends that are Geminis. I so one of my friends, she is very earthy and she's very into like gardening and stuff like that. She is a Gemini. I know of a few Gemini women who are kind of like boho and they're into that aesthetic. So I like that. I love your style. I like your effortless femininity. I like the Gemini's independence because all of my Gemini friends, a lot of them are single or they don't mind being single. I have yet to meet a Gemini girl that's a pick me. So that's a good thing. That's something that I noticed right off the bat. Like none of the Gemini women that I can think of have ever been pick me's or like male centered or in these codependent relationships. So that's pretty cool. I've noticed that a lot of Gemini women are very carefree. In terms of Gemini men, oh, and I forgot to talk about Taurus men, by the way. I would not date a Taurus man if I had to pick. But in terms of Gemini men, I've never dated a Gemini man. Like they just haven't stood out to me like that. So I just feel like sometimes they may kind of fall by the wayside. It's like the Gemini men that I can think of, I kind of feel like they sometimes get overshadowed by some of the other signs that I tend to be attracted to. So I do have some family members that are Geminis. Of all the Geminis that I know, they come off as very professional. Like the Gemini women that I know, they come off as very professional. They come off as being very good with money, very good mothers. They come off as being like good wives, like good housewives and stuff. They're good at like navigating through this society that we live in. They know how to like play the game. From what I've noticed, they're really they seem to do very well in the job market. They seem to do well with like purchasing houses or like I don't know, getting property, leveling up, getting promotions at work, getting the career that they want. I've noticed that Geminis are very good at manifesting within this particular matrix that we live in. They seem to be very good and very comfortable kind of playing by the rules and then making the rules work to their advantage. I'm the type of girl where I have to break shit. I have to break the rules. I have to turn everything upside down in order to get what I want. But I've noticed the exact opposite quality with a lot of Geminis. They're very good at navigating things within the status quo, but somehow making that work for them. So that is a quality that I admire about Gemini women. And then, yeah, in terms of Gemini men, I can't really think of any qualities about the Gemini men that really stand out to me. I would say that a lot of the Gemini guys that are in my family, they just seem pretty chill, but a lot of the Gemini men in my family have not had a lot of success with women. So I don't know if it has to do with their sign. I don't know if they're just too chill or like not as good at pursuing. But I personally, I've never dated a Gemini man because they've just never stood out to me. I don't know. So that's my psychoanalysis of Geminis. The next one is Cancer. Okay, so a lot of Cancers can be kind of toxic and volatile. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go in on Cancers. No, Cancer women are very, they can be cool. Like Cancer women, I feel like I like their vulnerability. Like if you are a mature Cancer, I think that you can be very successful because emotional vulnerability is something that is a very beautiful quality. So if you're emotionally vulnerable, then that's good. But I feel like some of the toxic cancers, they can be just straight up emotionally volatile to the point where it almost comes off as like emotionally being immature or almost like you're being jealous or something, or I don't know, you're not getting your way. And so then you get very upset. So I would say those are kind of the pros and cons of cancers. But at the same time, I do like some of the creativity of cancers. Like a lot of my friends that are cancers, they have helped me to come up with new ideas and stuff. They have inspired me on different things. So I like that about cancers. And then in terms of cancer men, same thing with the cancer men. I've never come across a man that's a cancer that has really like piqued my interest or anything like that. Um, a lot of the cancer men seem to dislike me, or they seem to kind of dislike whether it's my content, whether it's my personality. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because cancers are rumored to be like very emotional, but that's kind of my view on cancers. I like your creativity. I like kind of how you are very expressive. But then in terms of the men, I just they haven't stood out enough to me in that area to where I've been like, "Oh yeah, that's a sign that I'm like into." So the next one on the list is Leos. Okay, so Leos, you guys get on my nerves sometimes. I love you guys, but yeah, I feel like some Leos can be kind of like almost self-centered in a way. But I will say a thing that I like about Leos, I like that you guys try to be peacemakers. Um, a lot of Leos in my family, they are the peacemakers. They don't like a whole bunch of toxic arguing and stuff, so they do try to keep the peace. They do try to keep a solid family structure. They try to build community. So I like that aspect of Leos. I really admire that. I like the Leos community building mindset. I like how Leos are also innovative. They seem to be good at logistics, so like administrative tasks, kind of planning things behind the scenes. And by the way, like I said, all of this is really just generalizations based on my experience. But yeah, a lot of Leos, they seem to be good entrepreneurs. They seem to be good, like, you want to have a Leo on your team. I feel like Leos are good support systems to have. So they seem to make good employees. They seem to make good entrepreneurs. They seem to make good board members and stuff. I've met a lot of Leo women who are on different boards of different organizations, or they will start their own business and kind of build the business. So Leos are builders. I like that about Leos. Leos are builders. I've also met some Leo men who are very creative. So I think that's pretty cool, like trying to create something, trying to build something, but at the same time some Leos, I feel like they can be almost a little bit flaky sometimes, and it's like, okay, I thought we said we were going to meet up at this place, or I thought we said we were going to do this plan together. So the flaw that I've noticed with a lot of Leos in my life is it's almost like I can't trust them to show up for me when it really matters the most. So that's something that kind of makes me like, okay, really? But at the same time, though, Leos will remember you. Like they remember the good qualities about you. So I like that about Leos. They seem to see the best in others. So that's another part of my psychoanalysis of Leos. They see the best in others. But at the same time, though, I have seen some Leos in some toxic relationships as well. Leos remind me of Tauruses, where it's like every time I'm around a Leo friend or family member, they're always getting into or coming out of some sort of toxic ass relationship. So I don't know if it's they have bad communication styles. I don't know what it is, but I have noticed a pattern where all the Leos that I know of, they have had a history of toxic relationships. I don't know what signs you guys are dating. And then in terms of Leo men, I've never dated a Leo man because some of the qualities that I see in a lot of Leo men are not compatible with me. So, for example, being hard headed, I'm not really a big fan of men that have kind of this hard headed, my way or the highway mindset. So that's a reason that I have never dated a Leo man. Leo men have never made it to boyfriend stage with me because some of their behaviors can get on my nerves. And I have noticed sometimes Leos can be a little bit judgmental. I feel like Leos, they try to be woke sometimes. And it's like, if you have a different view than them, it's almost as if they will judge you like something's wrong with you. And it's like, no, why can't two things be true at the same time, Leo? Why can't I have my views and you have your views, Leo? Why do we have to agree on everything, Leos? So that's one of the flaws that I've noticed with the Leos in my life. But overall, though, I love all the signs, but that's kind of my psychoanalysis. So I guess if you're a Leo that's open minded, you probably won't have those problems. So the next one on the list is Virgos. I like Virgos. I think that Virgo women are very well dressed. They're very well put together, very pretty. A lot of the Virgo women that I have been around, they're very fashionable, very fashion forward. They're trendsetters in terms of like how they dress and kind of how they carry themselves. So I like their femininity. I like that they kind of march to the beat of their own drum. A lot of the Virgo women that I know are very low key. I've never met an attention seeking Virgo. I've never met a Virgo who's an attention whore. I've never been around that. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist. This is just my experience. So I like that about Virgos. They're not thirsty. I've never met a thirsty ass Virgo. Never. Not a thirsty Virgo man or a thirsty Virgo woman. So I like that Virgo women, they're very fashionable. They're like trendsetters in that area. They always seem to have their makeup and their hair done super nicely. They're pretty friendly. But one of the things about Virgo women, so the reason I've never really had a lot of Virgos in my inner circle is because a lot of Virgo women are kind of, they seem like they are staying to themselves. But I will say though, all of the Virgos that I know are introverts. all of the Virgo women that I know are introverts. So I don't know if it's because they're introverts or if it's because of their sign. I mean, half the time I don't even believe in this stuff anyway, so whatever. But But I like the fact that the Virgo women, they can keep a secret. That's another positive thing about Virgos. I have never met a super gossipy Virgo either. So a lot of Virgos seem like they want to stay out of drama. So maybe that's the reason why a lot of Virgos have not been in my inner circle because I just feel like if somebody's going to be in my inner circle, I would want them to be someone that's like willing to be in the trenches with me because I am willing to be in the trenches with the people that I care about most. So I think that's probably the reason that I've never had a lot of Virgos in my inner circle. And then as far as Virgo men, so a lot of Virgo men that I've met are very prominent. So they have a lot of success. It could be like he's a really good public speaker or he's really eloquent, almost like this smooth talker. I've met a lot of smooth talking Virgo men. So these are men who work in sales a lot. I've been around a lot of salesmen and stuff. I will say though too that a lot of my Virgo male family members are married. So it seems like a lot of women view Virgo men as being husband material. So I don't know if it's because of their smooth talking abilities. I don't know if it's because like they're slick talkers or they're good at flirting or something. But every Virgo man I've ever been around has been a very good speaker, like a very good public speaker, very well spoken, very educated. As far as if I would date a Virgo man, I never have. And I think part of it is because I'm not really into smooth talkers. That's not my love language. That's not my flirting style. So smooth talkers are kind of a turnoff for me. But if you are into the smooth talking suave type of guy, a lot of Virgo men are very much like that. Very suave, very smooth talking. A lot of the Virgo men actually, now that I think of it, my Virgo family members, they're very well dressed too. Like the men, the Virgo men, they're very well dressed. They will like ask somebody else to help them to dress correctly. Like, you know how some men they dress to where the shirt matches the undertones of their skin and stuff like that. So I've met a lot of Virgo men who are like that. So they seem to be very well dressed men who are also well spoken. So if you're into that, Virgos, that's kind of my psychoanalysis of them. But as far as their flaws, I have a hard time trusting Virgos because they seem so closed off. It's almost as if you never really truly know who they are. So that's something that I have had a problem with all of my Virgo friends. Like the friendship never passes a certain point because eventually the Virgo stops opening up as much, or they kind of feel like, oh, you already know me, so like I don't have to tell you anything else. And so that makes me feel kind of anxious because I'm like, wait a minute, no, I don't really know you like that. Like, hold on. And so I always feel like the Virgo is keeping secrets. So that's my analysis on the Virgo. I feel like you're always keeping secrets, Virgo. Why are you keeping secrets? Another issue that I've noticed with Virgos is broken promises a little bit. So I know that Virgos like to level up because a lot of the Virgos that I see, you guys are starting your own businesses or you're going to school, getting new jobs. But at the same time, it's almost as if you have to break promises to other people so you can attain success. So that is something that always used to irk me. So I have a failed business venture where I was going to be partnering with a couple of Virgos. And it's like, okay, I'm holding up my end of the bargain. Why are these Virgos not holding up their end? And usually it's because the Virgo has found something that they feel works better for them, but then they will kind of drop you and kind of leave you by the wayside or kind of leave you hanging. So I have definitely felt like I've been left hanging by Virgos before. So I think that is why Virgo women have never made it into my inner circle, and Virgo men, I've never dated them because even though they seem to make good salesmen, a lot of Virgo men that I've been around are successful in sales. So yeah, they're good at sales, they're good at speaking, they're well dressed, but at the same time, you don't even know if you're still going to be around tomorrow when it comes to dealing with Virgos. But you guys are very fashionable though. You guys look really good. So I would vote probably Virgo as overall most attractive because Virgos they really stand out to me in terms of their fashion and like I don't know, they just I would vote for them. But as far as me dating a Virgo man, I don't think that I would just because I have a hard time trusting Virgos sometimes. Okay, so for Libras, a lot of Libra women seem to not give an F what people think of them. So I like that about Libra women. I like that you don't seem to be moved by gossip. You don't seem to care if people are talking a lot of shit about you. I do like that about Libra women. So I will say with Libra women, I have noticed a lot of you guys as well are constantly in these relationships with these 50-50 types of men or kind of like these toxic narcissistic men. So that is a pattern that I've noticed with Libra women. And then as far as Libra men, I've been around a lot of Libra men who are just straight up incels. So unfortunately, I don't have that many positives to say about Libras, but I will say for the women, Libra women do seem very confident to me. They seem very confident. Libra women seem very comfortable with their bodies or like with their, I don't know, almost like they're comfortable with their sexuality or comfortable with people talking shit about them. They don't seem to care so much about what other women think, but a lot of Libra women that I've seen do seem to care what a lot of men think of them. And then same thing with Libra men. A lot of them come off as incels or like validation seeking. This is just me from the outside looking in. But I like how Libra women kind of step out and they're not afraid to show themselves. They're not afraid to show who they are. They're not afraid of being made fun of. They don't seem to be crushed by what others think of them. Like if I compare Libra women to Aries women, some of the Aries women that I've been around, they eventually do get bogged down by gossip. Whereas Libra women that I've seen, it doesn't seem to really affect them. It seems to just roll off of their back. So that's a positive aspect of Libras. Libra women definitely come off as very confident. Now, Libra men, some of them come off as confident, but like I said, they almost come off as chauvinistic to me. So that is why I have never dated a Libra guy. They've never been able to successfully be in my vicinity. They kind of remind me of like the Leo men or like Cancer men or something. So I've just not really been they haven't caught my attention. Sometimes I almost feel like Libra men want to be like the Virgo men. So the Virgo men, a lot of them are very well spoken and well dressed and kind of like smooth talkers. Sometimes I feel like Libra men try to put on this smooth talker, suave persona, but it's not their real persona. So that's an issue that I've had with Libra guys. So, like I said, I don't know if any of this is accurate, but this is just my guess. So the next one is Scorpio. So I love Scorpios. Scorpios are the shit. Um, Scorpios are very confident and very dominant, very powerful. Scorpios definitely give bad bitch energy. They definitely give like kind of like this alpha female energy. So I love that about Scorpio women. I have been around some toxic Scorpio women though. I feel like the Scorpio women who have inferiority complexes can be very jealous or they can be very like almost like rivaling you or comparing themselves to you or like they want to bring you down in order to bring themselves up. But overall, Scorpio is the shit. As far as Scorpio men, I don't have a problem with Scorpio men. I think Scorpio men come off as very emotionally open. I love their honesty. I like how much I can connect with the Scorpio man. So that is a sign that I would date. I would date a Scorpio guy because I like Scorpio energy. I like kind of this passionate thing that Scorpios have going. So that's one of my favorite signs, obviously. So yeah, Scorpio, I would say yes to. If a Scorpio guy like asked me out or something, I would say yes. I don't think that all Scorpios are hoes, by the way, because I've met multiple Scorpios that they're not hoes. They just channel instead of using sexual energy to like sleep with people, they use that passion and that fire and that energy to like do something else, like build a business. So I don't know which sign is which, whether it's a fire sign, an earth sign, or water sign, or whatever. I'm not really that deep into it, but that's kind of my psychoanalysis of Scorpios. Scorpios seem to have a builder's mindset as well. I love the ambition of Scorpios. So a lot of the Scorpio men that I've been around are very ambitious. So I like that. That's attractive to me. So I actually that is a sign that I would say yes to is the Scorpio guy. And then as far as having Scorpio women as friends, yes, I have had multiple Scorpio women as friends, but I have had some Scorpio enemies as well. The next one is Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius women that I've been around, a lot of Sagittarius women are very boy crazy. Sagittarius girl, you love male attention. You're very boy crazy, but not a hoe though. So I like that about Sagittarius women. I can always have fun going out to bars and stuff with Sagittarius women. So like we can go to the bar, we can be flirty, we can do whatever and have our fun, get our pretty privilege and then go home. So I like that about Sagittarius women. Like they're very they come off as like they're very flirty with men. They're very open to the male gaze. So if you have a pretty privileged Sagittarius woman as a friend, then like she's a great wing woman. She's a great friend to go out with to the bar and stuff. And she's not going to ditch you to sleep with the guy or whatever. She's not going to go home with anybody and just leave you hanging. So I've never been ditched by a Sagittarius woman. So I like that. Sagittarius women are very boy crazy, but at the same time, I feel like Sagittarius, you guys seem to have some communication issues because all of the Sagittarius women and men that I've been around seem to have a hard time expressing their feelings. Like they seem to have a hard time telling their person that they like them. So all of my Sagittarius girlfriends are like, their relationships don't end up becoming official because they never tell the guy that they like him or like they could be really into a guy but then they will never show it. And same thing, Sagittarius men. So I've actually had crushes on Sagittarius men in the past, but the Sagittarius man has never had the boldness to really step to me like that or really like I don't know, want to pursue me or kind of talk about his feelings. And so Sagittarius men, I used to get very frustrated with them because I would be thinking to myself, okay, but I know that you like me and you know that I like you, but nothing is happening. So I used to get very frustrated. And I've noticed that pattern actually with my friends that are Sagittarius girls. They will say that they have that problem in their relationships. That's the only sign that I've seen with that problem. So that's my psychoanalysis on them. You guys need to work on your communication skills because, and also, unfortunately, a lot of the Sagittarius men that I've met, they just don't know how to express their feelings or emotions. So sometimes it could almost come off as them being creepy, or it could come off as like them not liking you, or maybe they're like a player. But I feel like Sagittarius is they're not actual players because all the Sagittarius men and women that I know, other people think that they're players. But I've been pretty close to some Sagittarius people. They're not actual players. They just don't know how to express their emotions. So sometimes, like, you could think that a Sagittarius likes you, but then, like, they don't because they didn't express to you, they didn't tell you, but they actually don't like you. Or sometimes they really could like you, but you just never know with the Sagittarius. So your love life is going to be constantly dangling in the air if you fall for a Sagittarius, I've noticed. So my friend, she's a Sagittarius. She is a pretty privileged Sagittarius woman. She has broken so many hearts. I felt so bad. Like, I feel so bad for some of the guys that have liked her. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you know you like that guy. Why are you not telling him that you like him? Just be nice to him. So I feel like sometimes Sagittarius, I don't know if there's like a lack of emotional maturity. I don't know if you're trying to shield yourself from getting hurt. But I feel like Sagittarius, if they just learned how to communicate and how to express their emotions and their desires and their needs, they would have the most fulfilling relationships. Because I feel like Sagittarius has a lot of good qualities. I feel like you guys are good guys at heart or good girls at heart. So you guys would make good life partners if you knew how to actually express your feelings. But because you don't, I've always seen Sagittarius people suffering in the area of love because they just never talk to the person. They never ask the person, "Hey, so what are we?" or "Hey, will you be my girlfriend?" or "Will you go on a date?" Nope. They won't say shit. So I don't know if they have a deep-seated need to be pursued, whether it's a guy or a girl, maybe they just want somebody to chase after them. I don't know, but I've met some Sagittarius men who actually were good men but because they couldn't express themselves to the women they were interested in, they end up becoming incels later on. And then they have this incel rage, or they become creepers. And it's like, all of this could have been solved if you simply learned how to say, I like you, or will you go out with me, or what do you think of me, or I don't know, just express yourself, Sagittarius. But overall, I think Sagittarius is an amazing person, really. You guys have a lot of attractive qualities. A lot of the Sagittarius people I know, they're very sweet, very kind, very good with words, very understanding and non-judgmental. So lots of really good qualities for a friendship, lots of good qualities for like a partner. Would I date a Sagittarius guy? Um, After all of the negative experiences I've had with a bunch of Sagittarius men, I would say probably not anymore, because unfortunately, a lot of my former traumas have come from Sagittarius men just because of their lack of communication skills. I do attract a lot of Sagittarius guys. They seem to be attracted to like my passion and my self expression. So that's cool. But I don't think I would actually. I don't think I would date a Sagittarius guy anymore because I don't have time to try to teach you how to express yourself. Sagittarius, everybody has been through trauma. Everybody has had emotional hurt. So I feel like the Sagittarius has the biggest fear of being hurt, or the biggest fear of abandonment or something, because it stops them. It's almost as if they have kind of this disorganized attachment style, or like this avoidant attachment style or something, and it ends up screwing them over in their relationships from what I've seen. So, hopefully, if you're a Sagittarius, you can work on expressing yourself emotionally and telling the person that you love, that you care about them, and complimenting others and encouraging others. That's one thing about the Sagittarius. I don't usually see Sagittarius people encouraging others. Sometimes Sagittarius puts on this mask, like they're trying to be cool and they're trying to be funny, and they hide behind jokes and stuff, but then people get offended by their jokes. I've noticed people will get offended by what they say, and then they'll cut off the Sagittarius, and then the Sagittarius will be confused. Like, why did they cut me off? And then I have to explain to my Sagittarius friends, like, oh no, girl, it's because you said he was ugly, or it's because you said this mean thing. And then the Sagittarius will be like, oh no, but I was just kidding. And then I'll be like, but you can't play like that if you have not established that type of relationship with that person. So sometimes Sagittarius seems to make assumptions about their relationship status, or they make assumptions about what other people think, and they think that a person will be okay with certain jokes or with certain behaviors, and that person is not. So a lot of the problems that I've noticed in Sagittarius women and men, all of those problems could be solved if you simply learn how to talk to people. Oh my god, I'm going in on the Sagittarius today. Well, it's because I forgot to talk about Sagittarius in my last video, so I'm talking about it in this one. But yeah, I have definitely noticed that. So I've definitely had crushes on Sagittarius men in the past, but because of that behavior, not knowing how to communicate, not knowing how to talk to people, not knowing how to express yourself to people, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, that kind of stuff, it can be a social liability to me. And so I don't think I would date a Sagittarius man now, because I just don't have time for the bullshit. Sagittarius people are a lot of fun though, and they have a lot of attractive qualities. They're very popular. I've met a lot of Sagittarius people who are very popular, whether they're introverts or extrovert. Most of the Sagittarius people I know tend to be a bit more introverted, but they're always very popular. They know how to make friends, but do they know how to keep friends? I don't know. Okay, so the next one is Capricorn. Okay, a lot of Capricorn men are cheaters. So, Capricorn men that I've been around, definitely cheaters, definitely players. A lot of Capricorn men, I would say the positive thing about Capricorns is they seem to be builders. I've met a lot of leveled up Capricorn men in particular, where they will start off from the bottom and they will build some shit up to where you don't even recognize him anymore. You'll be like, "Oh my god, that's the same guy?" Because that's how much of a builder a lot of the Capricorn guys are. As far as Capricorn women, a lot of them seem to be very free spirited from what I've been around. Very free spirited. Think of like a hippie or something, but in a positive way, in all the best ways. Very non-judgmental. They're very open-minded, very welcoming. A lot of Capricorn women seem to be very welcoming, very artistic and talented. I've met some very talented Capricorn women who can sing, or, they just have all of these really nice qualities. They're also very good social climbers. So a lot of my social climbing stuff I have learned from different Capricorn women in my family. So a lot of the stories that I've been told by some of my family members who have done social climbing and stuff have been Capricorn women. So if you are into social climbing, if you like being in luxury spaces, if you like being in high class spaces, a lot of Capricorn women that I've come across, they're very into luxury. They seem to be very into like the high life, and I don't know, they just come off very classy to me, but at the same time, they're very free spirited. So I love that about Capricorn women. But as far as the Capricorn men, I have noticed that they do have kind of this classiness about them as well. So I've noticed that is what has attracted me to Capricorn men in the past, but then it always gets ruined because it turns out he will have some of the same communication problems as the other signs, or he will be so caught up in the validation of others that he can't focus on just one person. He can't focus on just you. He will get distracted by every new and shiny thing that walks by. So that is one of the reasons that I haven't really been around a Capricorn guy in a long time. So if a Capricorn guy asked me on a date or something, I think I would say no. I'm being such a troll with this one. I just wanted to get this video out of my system, okay? I don't even halfway believe in what I'm saying. I'm just psychoanalyzing just based on my experience. But yeah, a lot of Capricorn guys I've been around don't know what they want. Very much they're social climbers just like the Capricorn women. And so that's what scares me about the Capricorn men. It's like, okay, if you're a social climber, you social climbed your way into my presence. So now are you going to try to use me to social climb higher? Or, because like the last time I dated a Capricorn guy, before he could even get to me, literally after one date, my friends and stuff, they found out that I went on one date with this guy and they were like, "Oh, who? You went out with Nick?" I'm just making up a name. They were like, "Oh, you went out with Nick? Be careful. He's very political. He's a social climber. He's a clout chaser. He's this, he's that." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So Capricorn men, it's almost as if their reputation precedes them as being kind of this clout chasing person. And so that has made me like very distrustful of a lot of Capricorn men. And then also the whole cheating thing. Like I've been around Capricorn men who are cheaters. Like they will have a specific type. So if you are that guy's type, be ready to be on the pedestal. He will treat you like a queen, but he will also treat every other woman who looks just like you, he will treat her like a queen as well. So that's the thing about Capricorns that I've noticed if I had to make a psychoanalysis. And then as far as Capricorn women, they're very good at social climbing. So they would make good friends to hang out with. I would say Sagittarius women and Capricorn women, you can hang out with those women if you want a social climb. Maybe a Scorpio as well. But yeah, so that's what I've noticed about Capricorn men. The next one is one of my favorite signs, Aquarius. I have a crush on this sign. So I love the Aquarius sign. So if I had to judge like what is my favorite sign, definitely an Aquarius. I love how emotionally regulated you are as an Aquarius. Some of the closest men and closest women in my life have been Aquarius. I definitely I seem to have a thing for Aquarius guys because almost every single a lot of guys that I'm very impressed by, they always end up being an Aquarius. So I love the fact that Aquarius people, they're very emotionally regulated, they're very calm, they have a lot of longevity. Aquarius people, they seem very responsible. So some of the closest people in my life are Aquarius people. They're very loyal, very responsible. They care about kind of like fulfilling their duties. So they may get annoyed sometimes. They may be a little bit resentful sometimes, but overall they just seem so sweet, so like caring. They seem very understanding, so non-judgmental. And this is both the men and the women. Some of the closest women in my life are Aquarius women. Some of the most stable people who have been in my life for decades are Aquarius people. And then as far as dating, if I had to pick one sign that I would like trust, it would definitely be Aquarius. Aquarius is like one of my favorite signs by far. Like I just feel like I'm very compatible with Aquarius. I love the natural stoicism that a lot of Aquarius men have. They don't get super emotionally dysregulated like Taurus men. Oh my god, I'm talking so much shit today. So yeah, I like that about the Aquarius men. I love the stoicism. So for whatever reason, every Aquarius person that I've ever met happens to be an introvert. So I don't know if the whole stoic thing is only true for Aquarius introverts, but yeah, I love the Aquarius sign. If you're an Aquarius woman, we will be amazing friends. We're going to be friends for like a lifetime. I love that about Aquarius people. Aquarius people are so compassionate, like you guys are so nurturing, so compassionate, so caring, very giving, very like self-sacrificing. So I love that. I definitely admire that about Aquarius, but at the same time, I have noticed that a lot of Aquarius people struggle with setting boundaries because I've had to stand up for some of my Aquarius friends because other people try to walk all over you guys. And I feel like it's because sometimes maybe you could struggle with like people pleasing or being self sacrificial. So I've had to actually step in and help some of my Aquarius friends because other people have tried to take advantage of some of the Aquariuses. So but I love the Aquarius sign. I have a crush on this sign. Like if a guy tells me he's an Aquarius, I mean I'm decentered from men, but on the rare occasion that I do come across a guy who piques my interest and he happens to be an Aquarius, that is a huge point in his favor. In fact, I would be shocked if he wasn't an Aquarius at this point because that seems to be the main thing that I attract. For those of you who follow the Patreon, you know that I'm very good at attracting my exact type no matter how specific it is. So yeah, Aquarius, that definitely falls into my type. I love how classy you guys are too. So like the Aquarius women that I'm around, if I'm around Aquarius women, we're going to be doing some classy shit. We're going to be doing something very classy. We're going to be traveling in style. We're going to be going on girls trips in style. So I love hanging out with Aquarius women too. Aquarius people they have a very solid sense of confidence. They have a very solid sense of confidence. They have a solid sense of self-esteem, and it's like they don't let a lot of people in, but if you get into the inner circle of an Aquarius, you're going to be blessed because they're going to have your back. So I love that about Aquarius people. They're very emotionally regulated, very stable, very trustworthy. So obviously I'm I'm super biased. I'm not an Aquarius, but like I'm super biased. I love Aquarius. My favorite signs are probably for both women and men are like Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. I would say probably those 3 are like my favorite. So the next one on the list is Pisces. So I love Pisces as well. Oh, and then in terms of Aquarius, like with dating, if an Aquarius guy asked me on a date, I would say yes. I currently have a crush on an Aquarius, like, right now. But no, I love Aquarius, but in terms of Pisces, though, I love Pisces as well. Pisces, that is also one of my top favorite signs. So, I love the I don't give an F mentality of Pisces. I think Pisces women are very fair. They're not like fake ass flip-flop bitches. Like, I love that Pisces, they're more loyal. They don't just believe everything they see. They don't just follow everything they see. I like that Pisces people, they kind of march to the beat of their own drum. So I like their confidence. That's why I like Pisces because I like their confidence. Pisces people are not haters. I like that about Pisces women. They're not haters. So I have had a lot of Pisces women in my inner circle. I just think they're cool as fuck. They have a very unique, they're very unique. I like the individuality of Pisces women. Like, I know one Pisces girl, she dresses very unique and like she has her own style. She's always slaying with her style. Even if I think about some of the content creators that I know of that are Pisces, that they have their own unique talking points. They don't just follow the crowd. So I love that about Pisces because in terms of like being an alpha female or a sigma female or a beta or whatever, I feel like a lot of Pisces women have like a sigma side to their personality. So sigma women, I have that in my personality as well. You like to break the rules. You don't just follow shit. You're not like the Gemini women where you can succeed by following the rules. I like Pisces in the sense that they don't mind breaking the rules. They don't mind saying things that are unpopular opinions because Pisces people, they are the trendsetters. So I love that about Pisces women and men as well. I have noticed that Pisces men, they tend to do better with me as well because they understand my personality too. They understand that sometimes in life you have to break the rules. You can't just follow what everybody else thinks. There are some people who know how to thrive in the system that we live in now, and then there are other people who have to break the rules. And I feel like Pisces people, they are the trendsetters. They're the ones who will break the rules. They're the ones who break the status quo. So I admire that so much about Pisces. I have a lot of respect for that sign. So if you're a Pisces woman, we are going to be BFFs. If you're a Pisces woman, if you're an Aquarius woman, or if you're an Aries woman, we are going to be BFFs. I like all of the other signs, but I've noticed those three signs stand out to me the most. And then if a Pisces guy asked me on a date, I would say yes because I like Pisces. I don't know though. He would have to already have been established though, because I like that Pisces are dreamers, but at the same time, you have to have proof of concept. So if it's a Pisces man and he's a big dreamer, I already know he's going to be a big dreamer because he's like a Pisces type of guy, but it's like he need as long as he has something to prove his dreams or as long as he has something to show for his dreams, then I'm good. Like I trust it. I feel like Aquarius men, they always have something to show. They can back their shit up. Aquarius men can back their shit up. Pisces men, they talk a big talk and they have a lot of good ideas. I'm not quite as sure about Pisces, but I would still say yes to a Pisces because a lot of Pisces are very trustworthy. They're very loyal and they're very like they know how to be held accountable for their actions. They're always trying to grow and level up. So I like that about Pisces. Pisces people, they're builders. They're not followers. So I really like that. They're good leaders. Anyway, what do you ladies think? What sign do you think is the most attractive? What sign has the most cheaters? Let me know what you think in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.